Hey everyone,
Hello,
it's Marlena and Kevin.
that is us.
Welcome back. Life on Mute.
Welcome to Life on Mute.
That's the podcast you're listening to.
That's true. You clicked on it. This
They-
isn't our fault.
No, thank you for clicking on it. Okay? We want you to listen. We're happy you're here. We're just going to jump right in. I found a lot of interesting things on the interwebs, and we're going to talk about them. We're thinking of we discussed about finding some interesting things about drinking, just because we like to drink. I'm sure a lot of people a lot of you guys like to drink, so we're gonna try to name a couple of interesting drinking things that we find on the internet, and try to do a little bit every episode. So what do you have?
Well, found an article about weird drinking laws in our 50 states by Kelsey Chesterfield on craftbeerclub.com. So I figure I'll go over a few of them, and if you guys like them, we can make this an ongoing segment. There's only so many states, so how many could we really do, right? But every state has its own laws, so I figured, why not find the weird ones?
So what's the first one?
All right, well, we'll just go in alphabetical order. So Alabama. So it says here, Alabama, if you're trying to find any beer bottles larger than 16 ounces, you're not going to have any luck, because any beer bottles larger than 16 ounces are not allowed in the state at all. And you have to choose your county wisely, because there's still a lot of dry counties throughout the state. But it seems like there's a lot of dry counties throughout the South in general.
Really?
Yeah, well, they just won't sell on certain days. Like a lot of them, they won't sell on Sundays, for instance. But there are some. Yeah, exactly. And some counties just don't sell it at all.
I didn't know about that. I'd figured the South would be the most, purchased for alcohol. Most purchases for alcohol.
I mean, you're probably right, but
they're always
not
singing,
in those counties.
They're always singing about drinking and whiskey and Tennessee whiskey in the South, right? That's all a lot of their country songs are about drinking.
Tennessee whiskey. Well, I guess they're just drinking 12-ounce beers out there, because nothing larger than a 16-ounce. So that kind of sucks, because you go to a bar, you kind of want a tall beer, right? I don't know. At least I do.
I was thinking, like, for people who like to pregame, we have 40-ounce bottles in here.
I know they can't
Those
play
40s.
They can't play Edwards Fortyhands over there and duct tape a couple of 40 ounces to your hands. You ever play that?
I've never heard of that. What is it? What is it called?
Edward Fortyhands.
Edward Fortyhands?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It's when you duct tape 40 ounces to each of your hands. And you can't get your hand back until you finish the 40 ounce.
But you have both of them taped to your... So one on
Both
each
hands,
hand.
yeah.
So you have to finish both, or you just have to finish one?
All of them. Both. You
Are
don't
you
get your hands
kidding?
back.
And is there a time limit, or is it just by the end of the night?
You just better get your hands back at some point.
Okay.
You got to finish those beers. Edwards 40 hands. I'm sure people play it with just one hand, but for the enthusiasts of us out there.
Have you done that?
Of course.
Well, what beer?
Back in the day, we used to drink. I think the only 40 ounce I've ever drank, honestly, was King Cobra. Or is it just Cobra? Might be just Cobra. It's not good. Not good beer at all, but it was the cheapest 40 ounce beer, so.
Yeah, well.
So that's why we chose it.
Yeah.
Me and the boys drinking our 40 ounces of Cobra.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like an intense game. Is only one person playing at a time, or is like...
I mean, whoever wants to participate, Sometimes you got only one guy playing, but, other times everybody's playing.
It sounds like it's forced, because it's not like you're duct taping your own hands to the 40s. It sounds like, let's pick the guy who's drinking two 40-ounce bottles tonight.
Nah, you commit to it. You gotta, you have a plan. You have a plan sometimes when you go out with your boys, or you're, just chilling in one of your boys' room. Mm-hmm. You got 7 dudes in there and everyone's trying to get drunk, and it's like, what's the quickest way to get drunk? Well, who wants to drink warm beer? Let's duct tape it to our hands, forces you to drink it. Otherwise, you just don't get your hands back, And hey, if both of your hands are duct tape, how are you going to pee? How are you going to zip down that fly?
I didn't even think of that.
You better drink it quick. That's all I'm saying. You better drink it quick. Otherwise,
oh Oh no.
Hopefully one of your boys, they really got your back. They're a real homie.
Oh. I didn't even think of that. You definitely can't break the seal with that.
Nope, you gotta wait till after.
Oh my god. That
Yep.
sucks. Have you ever had to pee so bad before you finished?
No, I've always been the type. I never broke the seal. I could always hold it, but yeah, you always break the seal a little late in the game.
Okay, well, what's the next
Next
state?
on the list, we have Alaska. In Alaska, it's actually illegal to be drunk in a bar.
What?
You can't be drunk in a bar. According to state laws, you cannot enter a bar if you are already drunk, and you cannot stay if you become drunk. Along with that, it's illegal to give beer to a moose.
Okay.
Feel bad for the moose. The moosing out there.
I wonder if that's like a visitor thing. Oh, let's find a moose, guys.
Yeah, I'm wondering how big of a problem it was to where they had to make a law about it.
How
Where somebody who was running for office, I wonder if that was part of his campaign. He was like, you know
Never
what?
again will a moose ever suffer.
We will never see a drunk moose in this fine state of Alaska. No more hangovers for moose.
Well, it is. I don't know. Well, it's close. I mean, it's obviously next to Canada, moose, but I don't know. But well, going back to the other one, you can't get drunk in the bar. How does the fucking bar make money? Isn't that the point?
You pregame at the bar and then you go get drunk on the road home.
You got to do that fucking Edward Fortyhands before you go.
You can't even.
You can't get drunk before you go.
No, you can't be drunk inside the bar at all. If you're already drunk, they just won't let you in.
That's bullshit.
And say no.
I don't understand how that works, but all right, whatever.
No drunkies. Not at bars. Figure that's the only place you want them, right? But no, you can pregame and inside the bar.
How lame.
And then just go out and be drunk in public. I don't know. Probably can't be drunk in public there either.
Lame. Explain it. Explain whoever's in Alaska.
Yeah, all you Alaskans listening.
Email us because I don't understand.
Get out of your igloos and head down to the local library and send us an email.
What's on the next state then?
Next up, we have Arizona. And Arizona has a lot of drive-through liquor stores, but you cannot consume alcohol in the car, of course. But anyone who becomes intoxicated is only allowed to stay in the premises of that establishment for 30 minutes. So it's kind of like Alaska, but you're allowed to be drunk for like 30 minutes there. Otherwise, hey, it's time to go. They give you enough time to call home. As soon as you get to that point, sometimes when you're at a bar, you're sitting there drinking, you don't really feel it until you stand up. When you stand up and you get those little sways right there, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, all right, left foot, right foot, left foot. As soon as you have those thoughts, that's when it's time to go home in Arizona.
Well, we have a few drive-through liquor stores, I think. Right? Don't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a couple of those, but I mean, obviously, we're not supposed to be drinking and driving. That's a given, but I mean, Arizona's not too off, I guess. It's very specific on time, though.
30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah. I'm sure that's like lenient. No one's like starts a timer or something, I'm sure.
Well, next up we have Arkansas. Good old Arkansas. If you are older than 18 but younger than 21 and are caught with alcohol, you will not only get a fine, but you'll also have to write a themed essay on liquor, wine, or beer.
You're kidding.
They force you to write an essay. They force you to do some schoolwork.
You're kidding.
I wonder who you're writing to. Are you writing it to the judge, right? I'm assuming.
Like try to convince them not to put you in prison or something?
No, I mean, I don't know if you're trying to convince them. I think it's just kind of like a punishment. And that's like in lieu of going to jail. So
that's weird.
You get the fine, and you have to write an essay. That sucks. If you can you pay double and not have to write anything?
I know.
Is that a thing?
It's like, no, you write that essay or go to jail.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Go
in
straight
Arkansas.
to jail. Don't pass go.
We're not in Arkansas anymore.
Yeah, that one's weird. I've never heard of that. Obviously, I don't live over there, but I've never heard. I don't know. That seems weird. I don't know. Is that true?
Somebody read it? What if they don't like it? They just like, wait a minute. This guy didn't write it. He forged this. I don't know.
And if none of these things that we're mentioning are true, let us know. I'd like to get some clarification for sure. Because some of these, like the essay thing, like, it doesn't sound like it's true. Like, how is that enforced? I don't know. If it's true, I mean, it's true. If it's not, you want to say, hey, I've never had to write a fucking essay before.
Yeah, you hooligans in Arkansas who got caught drinking before you were 21, let us know. Did you have to write an essay? What was your theme? Is the theme based on whether you're drinking wine or liquor or beer? Because that's what it kind of seems like it's saying.
How long does the essay have to be? Does it say?
I don't know. God damn, I know. How long is it? How many pages?
I don't know. I could barely write like a couple pages of an essay and then give up. I don't know what else to write after that point.
You just got to repeat paragraphs. That's the trick. No teacher really reads all of them. This is for all you students out there. Your teacher has 31 of you in their class. Are they really going to read your essay? Just take a couple paragraphs, copy and paste them, spread them out, make them look good. That's it. That's a word of advice from me, your boy.
You know what I used to do when I had to write essays? And usually they said when you get an assignment like that, they tell you it has to be this amount of pages, right? So I was, oh my gosh, I always, whenever I had like a particular set of pages to do, I typed everything out as I could, right? With sources, quotes, all my, my thoughts into it or whatever. But I would always fall short of the amount of pages. So I'd have to like bullshit a lot of it. And then if I still didn't have enough, even if it was 2 pages, I never was able to write, I was only able to write 1 page. If it was 5 pages, I was only able to write 3 pages. It was like ridiculous. It's like I'm setting myself up or something. I don't know.
Oh man.
But I would like put double spaces in between each word to make it go further down.
You're one of those, huh?
And like I wouldn't mess with the margins because I felt like they always caught me when I tried doing that, even if it was like a little bit. But I would double space the double spaced lines. You know how you could put in double space? Mm-hmm. I would make it a little bit bigger because I think you could adjust it. I can't remember exactly, but I was
triple spaced.
Not exactly, but I was always trying to space it out. I would put, like I said, a couple spaces in between each word, and depending on the font, you wouldn't be able to tell. So I got like a little like better at it as I went along, I felt, because you could use a couple different fonts, but I don't know, that's what I did.
School really taught you school taught you how to cheat to get by. Yeah, I've heard of people that would also target every period and then like make that a different font size so it'll extend the space in between the period and the next sentence. People would do that all the time. I never really tried that. I just kind of rambled on with my thoughts and just wrote them down.
I couldn't do that. Like after a certain point, like I tried to bullshit a little bit or really kind of repeat myself just to add an extra fucking sentence to like a paragraph or something. Like I was trying everything that I could because I felt like I had no idea what else to type. So it's just like, it was always frustrating. But yeah, that's what I always did to try to get away with it. But sorry, I cut you off a little bit. I think you were going on to California, which is where we live right now.
Yep, on to California. This one, it kind of makes sense after I read it. Not makes sense and like it should be a law or anything, but it just makes sense being here. I kind of noticed this, but you cannot display alcohol within 5 feet of a store entrance or within 5 feet of the cash register if the shop also sells fuel. So your gas stations, they don't usually display that they sell alcohol there. You know, some of them don't too. Some of them, they always have like small selections at gas stations, but.
So basically, you can't have any liquor
Advertisements
near a
really.
gas.
Just advertisements. Yeah, you can't display the alcohol within 5 feet of the store entrance or within 5 feet of the register. Well, I guess that doesn't mean the alcohol there. Yeah, because usually in the gas station you'll find the alcohol. It's like at the back of the store. You know, it's not going to be up the front. It's not going to be behind the cash register. You know, where they keep the old cigarettes sitting there. Alcohol's a no. Can't do that. It's always off to the side.
I thought you meant that they couldn't like pop open a beer at a gas station.
No, they can't display it. They can't show it. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a hidden secret. It's behind the beads. You can find your pornos and your beer.
At a gas station? It's literally a convenience store for
Very
everything.
convenient. You get your gas, get a nice beer, and a good porno for the evening. Why not?
One-stop shop.
Is everything you need. All right, on to Colorado. Well, sorry, dudes, but you want to do the safe thing, right? You want to make sure you have a way home and after a night of drinking. So you think, you know what? My horse knows the way home, right? You want to hop up on your horse and he knows the way. You just go home and you just kind of sit there and go for the bumpy ride. Well, in Colorado, it is illegal to ride a horse while intoxicated. The horse is considered a vehicle in Colorado. I mean, it makes sense, but it's also like a living creature. And I think most people's horses, they kind of know the way back, right? I mean, everyone's seen those videos, right? Like somebody's like, well, let's see if my horse knows the way home. And they just drop the reins and the horse just kind of like goes back to where he wants. And he wants to be home. That's where his food's at, you know?
Who would have thought of that? I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have thought of like not being able to ride a horse. I mean,
they probably had a lot of drunk horse shenanigans in Colorado.
Tomfoolery.
Too much tomfoolery over there. But yeah, you can get a DUI if you're driving your horse drunk. Just don't be overly drunk, you know? You can probably get away with it. Just tip your hat. Who pulls over a horse? Are you a cop? Do you stop a guy on a horse? I guess so, if you're in Colorado.
Huh.
Yep.
Imagine all the horses being tied up at the bar.
That's probably why they did it. They're tired of horse poop at bars. It's like, you know what? We're sick of this manure. Let's make a law. Let's find the guy. Up next, we have Connecticut. You may have a hard time stocking up on beer in Connecticut. In restaurants, taverns, and cafes, you are only allowed to buy up to 4 liters of beer. And it must be for off-premise consumption.
4 liters?
Damn, you can't have a beer with your burger in a restaurant in Connecticut.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you have to have it off-premises.
Huh. What state was this again?
Connecticut.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one?
Next, we have Delaware. Alcohol sales are not allowed on big holidays such as Christmas, Easter, or Thanksgiving. Yep, so you got to plan accordingly.
You just can't get it on the holiday? Or, I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can't get it on the holiday. Christmas Eve, though, I'm sure is a good day, you know?
You just
Maybe
have to get
Wednesday
it
before Thanksgiving. Yep, they do not sell it on those holidays.
Maybe they're just closed on holidays and they're just... it just can't be sold.
Maybe.
Oh
well,
my
check this
God.
out. On top of that, alcohol is not allowed to be served in clubs where there is dancing. So there's no dancing in Delaware, because I don't know anybody who dances sober. What are we, high schoolers? I need at least 5 or 6 drinks in me
Footloose.
before I start, getting a little shoulder movement, I'm not a big dancer myself, but man, imagine going to a club and just being stone cold sober with all that loud music.
That does not make any fucking sense.
Hey, that's why we're not moving to Delaware.
Definitely fucking not. I mean,
well, I don't go to clubs, but
I mean, that's the point.
I know that's the whole point. Bunch of prudes, you Delawareans. Come on, what's going on over there?
They must not have any clubs, really, then.
I wonder what is the reasoning. Like, did they have a lot of, like, trips and falls?
I was just going to say that. Like, maybe, because I feel like it's a very hazardous when someone brings a drink to the dance floor and they're like, because I've been to, I wouldn't say that they're clubs, more like bars with, like, a little dancing thing in the middle, where if someone tries to take their beer, oh, yeah, I'm going to dance with, my girlfriends, and take their beer to the, dance with them and sip as in between little moves, like,
yeah.
They'll spill it on the floor, and then someone's gonna fucking slip and fall on the dance floor. So I've seen it where, there's guys or girls bringing their drink with them to the dance floor, and I've seen, like, security, hey, brush them off of the thing. You can't have that drink here.
Put that back, sir.
You can't have it, like, on the dance floor. I'm assuming that's what it is, that it's a slip and fall thing. Because I've seen fucking drunk ass bitches fucking spill their whole fucking drink on the floor because they're fucking sloppy drunk. And I'm like, and yeah, you're gonna fall.
That. But you know where they haven't seen that is Delaware.
Well, they
don't
used
even
to
know that's a problem.
They must have had that problem a lot then.
Wonder when that law was established.
Someone probably sued or something somewhere.
They sued the wrong guy. They sued the guy that was running for office. Well, there we go. Up next, we have Florida. And in Florida, it is illegal to sell alcohol during a hurricane. I figure, like, I would want to be drinking something during a hurricane. If I have a chance to die, I kind of rather be drunk.
A hurricane? Maybe
they just don't want you holed up in your house during a hurricane drinking and, like, impeding help. I guess it makes sense. I
mean, the last thing you'd go buy though, on a hurricane, for like supplies and shit, like you wouldn't get alcohol.
Well, you can't drink it. I think they're just saying straight up you can't drink it, even if you have it at home already. During a hurricane, alcohol is prohibited.
Really?
No alcohol. And I guess it makes sense because if they're trying to rescue you and you're a sloppy drunk saying, get out of here, I'll be fine. You just want to sleep. You just want to nap. You don't care about the hurricane.
I'm sure that's hard to enforce.
Yeah, I mean, unless they find you.
I mean, can they prove that you were drinking during the hurricane? I don't think so. Maybe you were drunk before. I don't know.
Nope, but it's a big fine if they find your ass drunk needing help.
I guess. Maybe they're just not allowed to help you if you're drunk.
Yeah, I guess so.
You broke the law. You were drinking, so we don't get to save you.
Last up for today is a interesting one. Good for you little troublemakers trying to get your parents in trouble. In Hawaii, you do the crime, but your parents do the time. Hawaii will give DUIs to minors who are drinking and driving. However, their parents or guardians will be the one who is required to go to educational alcohol abuse classes.
So if a teenager is drinking, the parent goes to those classes.
Yep, the kid will get the DUI. He'll get that on his record if he's driving around drunk. But kid doesn't have to go to classes, though. That's the cool part about that, at least.
Out of all people.
Now you got to send your dad.
Oh, hell no.
Imagine that conversation with your parents.
I think that's because they know that they'd be in big trouble if their parent had to go to school for something that they did like that. They'd be in hell of a fucking trouble. Are you effing kidding me? I gotta fucking go to classes now because you got your ass. Oh, hell no. Like, if that were to happen to me, and I didn't drink in high school or anything like that. Like, oh my God, I'd have the longest lecture yelling, get everything taken away.
Oh, absolutely.
And not only because I was drinking, but the fact that they got in trouble for it. Oh, hell no.
Yep, in Hawaii, it's also illegal to have more than one alcoholic beverage in front of you at a restaurant or bar. That would suck for me, because I'm a big fan of you go to a bar and you order a shot and a beer. You know, you take that shot, get you started, and then you coast with your beers. Nope, can't do that there. I gotta get it separate. I'm like, give me that shot, and they have to hold the beer, waiting for me to finish my shot. Then they get to set it down. Good old Hawaii.
Or like, what if you're waiting for someone to come and you ordered like 2 shots for each other? I don't know.
Can't do it there. No, ma'am.
Or it's like, oh, can I order like my next drink? I'm almost done with this one. Nope. Man, you just want to get your shit, you just want to get drunk as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I've been at bars before where you sit down and you order 3 or 4 shots, and that's your plan. That's your goal. You're going to drink all 4 of these shots before you leave that day. And it's nice having them in front of you so you could you toss them back at your leisure. You don't have to try to wave down the bartender. Is that a very alcoholic thing for me to say? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was Hawaii, right? So it's very touristy. So I'm sure. I think it's the point of all of these was just basically to keep control of some point of those people that ruin it for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And
people like me.
Yeah, you.
But that is our weird drinking laws for those 10 or so states. If you guys like it, we will continue this next time, go over some more. Why not? It seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, those are cool. So Kevin, do you like Reddit?
I browse every once in a while.
Every once in a while?
Every once in a while, I'll get on my phone every day.
Every day. Every single day. That's like his only social media, pretty much.
That's the only social media I use is Reddit.
He's not on like anything else. He's, doesn't have anything for himself. That's like his social media. And he's on that constantly. So I figured I'd look for some Reddit posts.
Ooh.
I actually found a little Reddit thing on Instagram. So I found a couple of questions. The Instagram I found it was from Dark Reddit. And so I'll ask you the questions, and I'll read you some of the responses that I found interesting. Okay.
Well, let's hear it.
So, and I think I kind of want to do this as a segment too, because I think some of these Reddit posts and like the things that people say, like they're very interesting and like crazy. I don't know.
Some people have some crazy stories out there.
Oh yeah. So okay, this one's the first question. So Kevin.
Yep.
You're gonna answer it first before I read you the posts. So, what's a child memory that almost all of us have? What do you think a child memory that you have that probably everyone has experienced? If you can't think of any, try to think of something. But the first one, I feel like it was told to me. Let me know once you think of one.
Sure.
But the first one I feel like was told to me, and this person said that not being allowed to turn on the light in the car.
Oh yeah.
The light on the roof of the car. Like if you're looking for something. I remember trying to turning it on and stuff like that, and they were like, "No, that's illegal. Like, turn it off." I feel like that's the response that I've probably heard from other people too, that, oh no, they always told me that it was illegal. So that's why I stopped turning it on after a while. And then the person who responded to that said, "Don't, that's illegal." So I was like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking before I even read it. But another response that someone put was, hauling ass upstairs after turning the lights off, so whatever the darkness has behind you doesn't eat you alive.
Oh yeah, that was definitely me.
And the someone responded to that saying, you guys stop doing this? I feel like I still do that kind of. Like, you never know what's hidden, somewhere in the dark. I don't know. Or like something scampers just because they feel, in the dark, like a rat or fucking, I don't know, cockroach or some shit. Scatters around the floor in the
Or a
dark.
little demon girl.
Demon girl on
Turn off the light and she runs out from behind the couch. Ooh.
I did that a lot, I feel. When I would turn off all the lights before going to bed, oh my God, I'd run to my fucking room.
When I was a kid, me and my brother, we would, anytime so when we'd visit my grandma's house, right, just to paint a picture, we used her bathroom in her bedroom, and it was behind her large, like, king-size bed, but it would be dark in there, right? And you flush the toilet. It's a really loud noise. So when we were younger, like 5 or 6 years old, flush the toilet. It's real dark because you just turn off the bathroom lights, and then we would just start running. And I always had this picture that there was something chasing me that just climbed out of the toilet. I don't know why I had this fear. I don't think I've ever seen a movie or something where something climbed out of a toilet, but yeah, no, I always had that deep dark fear every time I flushed the toilet when I was a kid. Some little white creature would just jump out and start chasing me.
I had this reoccurring dream, and I wasn't super young. I was like a teenager. But it was reoccurring. I don't know how often, maybe like once a year or so for a little while, where I kind of, so in our house, we had like this hallway, separate from the kitchen, the living room, the front door, and all that. So this hallway. And then from my room, if you were to come out of my room to your left, it would be, the rest of the house, the kitchen, living room, whatever. And then to the right, it would be the rest of the room. So my parents' room's like across from me. And then there's a bathroom at the end of the hall. So, in my dream, I guess it felt super real just because it had a feeling of how, maybe because people are obviously scared of the dark, but so what would happen is I would get up out of my room, I'd go to the hallway, stand at my door in the hallway, and then in my dream, and I'd sit at my hallway, I stand in my hallway, and then as if I had heard something and I didn't know where it came from, and then I look out to my right where my parents' room was, and I saw my mom. Like, as if she heard the same thing, okay? And she's in her pajamas and all that. And so she'd be standing at her doorway like how I am. And I'd be like, oh, like, did you hear that? And then to my left, where the rest of the house was, it was complete darkness. So you can't see because it's so dark. So the end of the hallway is just black.
Right.
So I turned to my left as if I heard it again. And then what the creepy part of it was, I turned back around to my mom and she was gone.
Ooh.
And it scared me every night. And I had that, and I remember just waking up right away after that, like being so freaked out. And again, this was a reoccurring dream I had like maybe once a year for some reason. I don't know why.
That is spooky.
And it was the same exact thing. It was the same exact thing. So it's just like, I don't know. It still creeps me out to this day. Just because it's, especially since at the end of the hall, it's just so black, you can't see anything. Mm-hmm. So it's like anybody could be standing right past the darkness of the hallway. I don't know. That was always so scary. So scary.
No, that's frightening. That is terrifying.
I mean, it could be. I mean, the fact of it is that anyone can come into your house. There's plenty of home invasions, plenty of burglaries, kidnappings, all that stuff. So it's like, I think that's just like, the big fear of darkness in your house. The fact that you can't see but anything could be on the other side of that. Anything. Whether if it's a scary animal or a person,
Yeah. I mean, our fear of the dark, because this is a universal fear. Most people have this fear.
Yeah.
You know, our fear of the dark, it stems from when, you know, we were living in tents, when we were sleeping under the stars and doing that. Like, there's a lot of scary predators out in the dark. There's big cats, there's bears, there's wolves, there's whatever. There's lions.
Dinosaurs.
Not dinosaurs.
As cavemen and women.
I don't know if the cavemen lived during the dinosaur eras. They had their own problems. They had saber-toothed tigers. Big giant cats with foot-long teeth.
That's a prehistoric animal.
They were around during the early human years. But yeah, I mean that's what that fear of the dark stems from, you know. But going back to your story, like I think the opposite's also pretty scary, you know. Like, you know, in your dream you looked away and then all of a sudden your mom was gone and it was just you there and it's like, well, that's creepy. Like, where the hell did she go? But the opposite's also kind of creepy too, where it's like, imagine a scenario where, you know, you see your mom, you're talking there, and she's like, all right, we'll go back to sleep. You turn around, then your mom's in your room too.
Oh my God.
Like, which one are you, Mom? What's going on?
Oh my God. You just gave me creepy.
Enjoy that nightmare tonight.
You just gave me creepy vibes. Like, then your mom is behind you.
And your mom's also there. Or you see her come walking in from getting a glass of water out of the darkness, and you're like, wait a minute.
Who were you talking to in the hallway?
Who's there? Is your dad up?
Oh.
You're up.
You're freaking me out because this is my dream that I was scared of. And it was a simple dream. It's not like something came out, you know, and screamed in my face or was watching me, you know.
No jump scares in that dream.
Jump scares,
just
yeah.
That creepy feeling.
Super creepy.
Those are like the best kinds of horror movies to me too, is where it's just like you just creeped out the entire time, versus the ones where it's like, oh, there's a loud noise and a jump scare, you know. It's like, if a horror movie, if the only reason why it qualifies as horror is jump scares, like, I'm not into it. I'm not into it at all. But if it's like, you know, creepy, you have this creepy vibe. That's why, like, The Shining was such a good movie. It was just creepy, you know, the whole time.
Well, going back to the Reddit post. So this last one that was related to the same question, they said, either trying to step on no cracks or only cracks on the sidewalk. And then someone responded, your mother's back was in constant jeopardy. I remember.
The poor woman.
I remember doing this. I don't know if I believed it. I don't think I ever believed it, but it was just like a fun thing to like play. You know, if you're just walking, just play, oh, let me avoid all the cracks on the sidewalk and on the pavement and, you know, at school or whatever. I remember doing it a lot.
Yeah, I always came up with like weird games to play when I was walking home just because it was boring, you know?
Yeah.
You walk home, it's a mile walk for you know, a kid. That's like,
yeah.
What am I to do? So you always come up with these little games like, oh, you got to jump over the cracks.
Like hopscotch almost.
Yep.
But
or the sidewalk is lava where you can only run in the grass. You have to jump over, you know, to get around walls and stuff.
I would walk on the curb too. Like
Yep.
like a balance beam. Like I'd walk on the curb like a balance beam. But yeah, I was doing that a lot. The step on the crack, break your mother's back type of thing.
My poor woman.
Okay. Did you think of a childhood memory almost everyone?
No.
Everyone has? Okay.
No.
problem.
I mean, just I can only think of things that are like similar to everybody else's, like, but it doesn't really like fit in.
Okay. This next one was, what was the worst thing your guest did when they took make yourself at home very literally?
Ooh.
I can't think of one personally. But these, oh my gosh. Okay. The first response that I have that I was interested in.
Sure.
It says, my brother's best friend came to live with us for, quote, a few months because he wanted to move back to our state. My parents agreed because he was supposed to go to college and they believed college education was important. Well, 8 years later, and he is still there.
No way.
All my parents' kids have moved out. But for some reason, my brother's best friend is still living there. Imagine it's not even your kid.
That's crazy. As a friend, you just gotta tell your bro he needs to get an apartment at that point, you know? You
I
can't
wonder
let him
how
stay
old
with
he
your
is.
parents. I
What
mean,
if-
at least 8 years. He's at least an 8-year-old child. No, but I mean, they're expecting him to go to college. He was moving back for college, so I'm assuming he's like 18 to 20 when this started. So now this dude's pushing 30. If not, he's in his 30s.
Oh my God. Like,
Imagine your 30-year-old friend living with your parents.
I would hope that they're very close. I mean, you would have to be to, offer your son's friend to stay at your house. And then for 8 years, I mean, it's not, for one, it's not your kid staying at home. So it's not like you're just happy that he's there. He's kind of just like a fucking random guy. Unless they're, like I said, unless they're super close.
I mean,
I
does he
don't-
pay rent? Like, at what point did he start paying rent?
I
If
mean-
he did.
Yeah, who knows any of that, but it's just like, man, like I just I can't even I wouldn't be able to. I mean, what about his parents? Unless it was like a situation where he wasn't close with his parents,
His
or
parents are stoked.
or like, something like that. It's like, why couldn't he stay with his own parents or something? I don't know.
Yeah, they
But
didn't want to deal with his ass.
I mean, they obviously knew.
Hey, hopefully, you don't know this guy's situation, right? Maybe he's going for his doctorate. It takes a long time. This guy's going for a PhD right now. He's trying to become a doctor. Maybe he's trying to be a surgeon. It takes a lot longer. So he's living up to his college, his college request, right? Like he's going there so he can go back to college.
I mean, you would hope
Hey.
it's something like that.
I'm hoping, but in reality, this guy is really mooching.
He's just learning ethnic relations or whatever it's called, or languages. He's just learning languages.
Majoring in liberal arts.
Oh my God, I can't.
He's hoping for a museum to open up in town.
There was this other one that I found. They said the $900 phone sex bill. It was the early 90s.
Yikes.
And the bill came on paper, and it was about 100 pages. A phone sex bill.
How much money?
$900 phone sex bill.
My God.
And it was in the early 90s.
The
And
inflation, that's so much money.
they put it all, in the envelope. All the pages of all the calls all in an envelope. It's not like you
Yep.
look that shit up online and see all your charges.
Here's the transcripts. It got pretty rough.
Oh my God. I think when I was reading it when I found it, I got a little bit more of the story, and I think he ended up paying for it or something, but
Imagine having that conversation with somebody you invited over.
oh my God. That's ridiculous.
Yikes.
Anyway, next one.
Well, on that topic, real quick, let me throw my little 2 cents in.
Go ahead.
I was probably about 16, I think, 15, 16. I was living at my grandma's house with my mom, and our cousin came over, little cousin. I'm not going to say any names, but this guy, he ended up buying, it's on the same thing, I guess. He ended up buying a bunch of dirty films using our cable provider.
Oh.
He ordered like 4 or 5 of them, and by the film's titles, you could tell like what he was into. Unfortunately, this kid was like 12, 13 years old, so he's
I was
He's
thinking
in
it
there
was
buying-
an adult.
nope, not at all. He was into something.
So he obviously didn't even know that he was purchasing the films, and that he would get caught, I'm sure.
Oh no, I feel like he knew. I don't know.
Oh, he knew?
I feel like he knew, like somebody had to pay for it, right? So like, I don't understand like the thought process there. Maybe he really wasn't, and he was just caught up in a little horny mind. But
Well, I don't know how long ago this was, but I think that Like, I'm thinking, like, as far as, like, hotels or something, I would think maybe it's the same thing. Like, at home, when you're looking for movies to watch, it would just be charged to, the cable. Like, it's not like you enter your credit card number on the spot, like, oh, pay for this right now. You click on it, okay, are you sure you want to purchase this or some shit? And then I assume, like, it just, okay, and then you just fucking watch it. And then later you realize that it was however much money when you get the bill later.
Yeah, no. This showed what you bought and like what you paid for, because there's the reason we found out too, because he was only there for I think a week. It was him and his mom. They were both there.
And he got 5 movies.
We bought 5 movies. I think it was all in like one day too, because it was like 2 days in. So we all had to look at this kid for the next 5 days and be like, all right, man.
Everyone knew.
We all know what you're into, buddy.
Oh, no. Do you know how much it was?
I think it was like $7 each or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because the reason we found out is because we actually, we went on to it and like we were going to rent a movie to watch. So we were going to rent a movie that, just left theaters but wasn't out on DVD yet. I forget. I have no idea what it was, but... that's how we found out, because it takes you to a separate screen where it's like, oh, this is your movie and all the other movies you purchased that you you own for the next, however long, 48 hours or a week or whatever. Yeah. Or, some of them did like you can watch it like 3 times or something. But yeah, so like that's how we found out. It was like we were looking through it and we see, a title, Bitches in Heat. And we're like, a real title, by the way. We saw Bitches in Heat sitting right there with various other things that also involved...
That was one of your videos.
MILFs in Heat and all this. In Heat. That's the thing that threw me. I was like, cats go in heat. And I was like, oh, shit. I guess... Wow.
Oh, no.
Found the kid's fetish.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sorry, cousin. I won't name you, but, if you ever listen to this, you know who you are.
Oh my god, I can't imagine. I remember like on cable. I mean, I don't know how long your story was, how long, like what, if it was in the 90s, early 2000s, whenever. But I remember like when I was younger and I was trying to watch a movie like after a certain time. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I was just trying to find a regular movie, and then I think okay, everyone knows The Devil Wears Prada, the movie, the regular movie. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I remember that.
Let me say the title.
Why? Because you've seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I already know it. Tell me if it's right. Is it The Devil Wears Nada?
Yes. But as I'm scrolling, I don't think I realized, like, the devil, like, I'm just thinking, okay, the title of the movie.
Right.
Like, The Devil Wears Prada, I'm like, but I'm not paying attention to the full title. Like, I probably just saw the beginning title. I was like, oh, I want to watch this. And I click on it. I was like, oh my God.
Yikes.
This is The Devil Wears Prada.
Those ladies are naked.
So I was like, but it's like, that's how I found out that, oh shit, there's adult movies after a certain time. Mm-hmm. When I'm trying to find like fucking Scooby-Doo or some shit, or The Devil Wears Prada or some romance movie.
Yeah, that's Scooby-Doo it.
I found a different kind of romance movie.
Yeah, you did.
But those were just for free. I mean, not for free. Like, I think.
Yeah, it's on like HBO yeah. or Cinemax. They'll call it Skinemax. That was the thing.
Really?
That's a real like term that people use. I don't know if it's like a term from Cinemax, but
I've never heard of that.
But yeah, because like late at night, it was like after a certain time, like 9 or 10 o'clock. As a formerly young, horny teenager, there was quite a few of them that I would look through. Like the Hills Have Thighs. That was a famous one.
Oh no!
The Hills Have Thighs. There's Spider-Man and Spider-Babe. Spider-Babe's a little scandalous.
See, I probably would have clicked on these by accident, like trying to find the regular movie.
Like Spider-Babe. Oh, that's a lady Spider-Man.
Like, oh, is that in the comic books? Is that the
Not
next
in those
Marvel
types
movie?
of comic books.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's
I mean, you'd
yikes.
have to pay for those subscriptions, like the HBO and Showtime or whatever.
Yeah, that's why there's parental settings now.
Oh my god.
How many of us learned the hard way or the fun way, you know what I'm saying? Right, boys?
Oh no. Oh no, I can't imagine. Oh my god. I remember like being I'd try to change it as fast as possible. Like, this isn't what I wanted. Try to find the fucking right button or just change the channel up or something or mute it. Oh my god,
Yep.
trying to mute it right away because it's like, fuck, I didn't want this shit.
We had this like brought back a memory of specifically the one Spider Babe. the reason
Did
why
it bring back happy memories?
no
when you
the
thought
reason
of it
why
now?
this one stands out to me actually is because at my mom's house, her boyfriend at the time, he recorded it, so it was on the DVR, and like me and my brother, we were watching like whatever we were watching, like Ghost Adventures or something. You know, whatever we wanted to watch that we set to like record, so like every Thursday it was on, it would record a new one or whatever day it was.
Yeah.
So we were looking through like the DVR list of what was recorded, and we found Spider Babe on there. And we're like, uh-oh, there's only one person that's going to be recording this. And that's your mom's boyfriend, you know?
Oh no.
We found it. We found what he was into.
That was your mom's boyfriend? How
Yep.
embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
If
For
I
him.
if I was your mom, I'd be embarrassed. Like, for you guys, like, well, and for her too. But I would be like, what the fuck is my boyfriend watching? Like, obviously my kids can find this at any moment, especially if they're recording their own shit. Like,
Yep.
he was just planning on, oh, I'll watch it later, and
I'll
then,
enjoy this one on some alone time.
and then forgot about it or forgot to watch it and didn't delete it. and
Well,
shit.
the man wasn't very smart. He wasn't a bright man. Let me just say
Oh
that.
my god, I can't.
But there you go, buddy. I just exposed you.
Did you watch it?
No. Yes. But not at that time. I watched it before. I didn't need to record it. I watched it while it was live, you know? I watched the premiere. What are you talking about?
The premiere.
I knew I had to be over there at a certain time, you know?
Oh no. Oh my god. Let me go back to the Reddit. I mean, we really trailed off there, but the next Reddit post was, I caught a friend of a friend masturbating into my kitchen sink at 2 a.m.
Yikes.
Into my kitchen sink.
How do you look at your dishes the same way?
Oh my god.
That's not cool.
Why in the sink? Go to the toilet. Do it in the toilet. Why was the toilet? I mean,
Somebody was in there.
it's more private. If anything, why?
My man's got a spoon fetish.
And then someone replied to that saying, last call, you don't have to go home, but you can't come here.
No, you can't. If anyone's sleeping in my house, just don't come anywhere. Come on. Come on.
I mean, can't you fucking wait?
Just wait.
Go, wait till you get home. Wait till you get home.
Yeah. That's
Like-
too much. Hose off in the backyard. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. Like, at least, at the very least, at the very fucking least, go to the fucking restroom where you have some privacy and I don't have to fucking walk in on you when I'm trying to get a fucking glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
That's too damn much. That's too damn much.
Oh, hell no.
Come on.
Next one. It says a family member's friends were staying at his place he'd inherited from a dead relative while he was in jail, and they caught the place on fire making meth.
Oh, no.
Imagine
That story
inheriting-
is full of a lot of things. Can you repeat that one more time?
It's
There's a lot going on.
It says a family member's friends were staying at his place that he had inherited from a dead relative while he was in jail, and they caught the place on fire making meth.
I feel like maybe he was kind of involved, you know?
I mean, he's obviously
I mean,
has
it
some
does
sketchy
suck.
friends.
Yeah, I mean, you're letting your boys stay over, and they're the type to make meth. That's probably a bad decision in the first place.
I mean, you were in jail.
And he was also in jail, so he's just like, hey, bros, I got to serve a couple weeks here, so you can have the keys. I don't know. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack in that scenario.
He inherited a free house.
People, drug addicts, they just they ruin the good things.
And they were making meth.
Yeah, don't cook meth in your friend's house, guys. Come on. Go into the woods and build a shack like a normal human being. Cook your meth there. Heisenberg it. Get a fucking an RV. Drive out into the desert. You know, Heisenberg that shit. Don't cook it in your buddy's house. It's gonna stink up the motherfucking place. Come on, guys.
Oh God. Let me see. This other one isn't as severe. It says that their person rearranged my kitchen. That bitch. and then they edited their
audacity.
They edited their own post saying, "It wasn't my mom. It was a guy I'd gone on 2 dates with. I left alone in my apartment for a few hours. My mistake, I guess." Imagine going on 2 dates with some guy. First of all, you shouldn't be leaving some guy you barely know in your apartment.
Yeah, it's a rough call
by himself. There. And then he rearranges your kitchen. He must have been fucking bored for one.
No, you know what happened? Let me tell you what happened. This guy, he showed up and he was just like, all right, well, let me find a fork, right? He wanted to make some Eggos. He was trying to make some waffles. And he looked for the plate. He popped those Eggos in the toaster. He looked for the plate. No, it wasn't there. Where was the plate? It was under the sink. What the fuck's the plate doing under the sink? What's going on here? He was looking for the fork. Where was the fork? It was above the stove. Why? Why is the fork there? I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but imagine if you're walking into that sort of scenario, yeah, you probably should rearrange her shit.
They obviously needed help.
She needed help. All her shit was on the counter, and he just put it in drawers, and she was like, the audacity of this man. I hate my drawers.
I was kind of thinking, obviously, of the other side, like, this fucking guy touched all my shit.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
And put it in random places. Like, he took out literally all of the shit in the cabinets and drawers and all that shit, and took it out, put it in different places. Unless it was like an OCD type of thing that maybe this person had.
That could be it.
But it still would have been like fucking one, weird. Like, okay, this is the last fucking date I'm going on with you. 2, annoying because now you can't find where anything's at. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? This isn't your house.
My guy probably didn't want to call back in the first place,
Unless
this was his way out. He was like, I'm gonna fuck with her shit right now. What's the easiest way I could do it without like breaking the law? It's like, I'm just gonna rearrange some shit, move some drawers around.
I wonder if he thought he was helping at all. I don't know.
Who knows? He probably did help, to be honest. She probably has some shit in some weird spots.
Or the only thing I could think of, like, maybe her kitchen was a fucking mess.
Maybe she was mad he cleaned up.
Okay, well, the next one. The next one is... it's a question. My bad.
Let's hear it.
Next question. Have you had anything like that? Or someone... I mean, you already said the porn thing overstayed their welcome. No.
Had a buddy that we got into a fight in the house, but we were also roommates, so I was like, we overstayed each other's welcome, I guess, at that point. But story for another day, I suppose.
I guess. Okay, this next question. What's one opinion of yours that completely changed when you grew up? I could kind of think of one.
I could think of one, but I feel like
a
little too on the nose.
There's plenty of things.
Yeah, everybody has those, right? You grow up and something's changed.
There's plenty of things.
Well, let's see what the people say.
Yeah. Well, for me, I was thinking of weed, just because I always thought weed was like terrible and like not good for you, and
that's true.
Like a bunch of lazy people did it, and like
everyone goes through DARE, so I guess drugs in general would fit that. Drugs and alcohol. I don't think any kid grows up thinking, you know what, I can't wait until I can start drinking some beer. I think there's just a point where you try it, you know? But I think everybody is like kind of at the point, or they have that point where like I'm never gonna drink, I'm never gonna do drugs, I'm never gonna smoke weed, I'm never gonna try cigarettes, you know. But obviously those opinions change because people are still smoking cigarettes, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
How many teenagers are out there drinking an alcoholic beverage? A lot, a lot.
Let me see. One of the responses was that not every situation is black and white. So pretty basic response, but someone responded to their post and said, sometimes there isn't always a good and a bad way to view people too. Some situations are just impossible to look at with a purely, quote, evil or good perspective.
Sure.
Quote, bad things aren't always bad, or good things can be done by bad people. It's so incredibly muddy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you grow up thinking USA good, Russia bad, right? You know, but it's like those are people living over there too.
Yeah.
I think everything is that way, right? I mean, just the way it is.
Kind of goes with any situation. Nothing is purely black and white, always a gray area.
Yeah.
But let me see what the next one says. It says, I used to care a lot about what everyone thought of me. Sometimes I still do. But as I grew older, I realized nobody really thinks about you because you're too busy thinking about they're too busy about themselves. And someone responded with, was in the same boat for a long time, too long really. I think knowing this when I was younger, like a teen, would have been really freeing. And I would say I 100% agree. And this is one of the perspectives that I feel like changed, like significantly my perspective on this. Just because I constantly, I feel like it's kind of natural regardless, thinking, caring what people think of you.
Sure.
But I feel like how this person said, as a teen, well, your teens are probably the hardest for anybody. And I felt like I always compared myself to others.
Sure.
I always cared
Everyone does that.
I always cared about what other people thought of me, what my family, thought of me. Not that I don't care about what my family thinks at all, but like I felt like there were certain things that I put a lot of pressure on myself for back then. And then I realized as I got older, and I think you, Kevin, helped me out a lot of that too, because you're very carefree and you don't care about what people think of you. You do whatever you want, regardless of anyone's opinions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I really, when I met you, it was kind of like a realization to me, because like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't be thinking about what other people think so much. Like, people have opinions about your relationships, what you're doing with your life.
Yep.
I constantly was being told by a lot of different people, like in my family in particular, like, oh, well, you got to know what you got to do when you get out of high school. Are you going to go to college? What are you going to do in college? And you got to know what you got to do already. How are you going to, deal with your life? And then it's like you realize later that no one knows what they're fucking doing in their life. Everyone's just taking it day by day. So it's like everyone's putting all this pressure on you to make sure you got your life fucking figured out at a certain time, or make sure you get married at a certain time, make sure you have kids by a certain time, or else you're fucked, or you're stupid, or you're not mature, or all those things. Yeah. So it's like I feel like like I said, like as I got older, I don't really care to put it as bluntly, like what other people say anymore, or people's opinions. And I think that, like, even with friends, like sometimes you realize that maybe your friends aren't your friends, and you get older and you realize who your true friends are and all those stuff. And not giving a fuck about what anyone says, or giving a fuck about if you make a good impression on somebody, or it's just so freeing. It's so freeing. And some people have actually like, oh, well, you don't care about what your parents think, or you don't care about your friends think. Like, those are
Nope.
your that's your family. Those are your friends, and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, at the end of the day, I have to make myself happy.
No, it's your life.
It's my life. Yeah.
That's I was lucky enough to have somebody tell me that when I was younger. That's why when you met me, I kind of live and act this way, and it was because somebody told me they're like nobody. I was in a state of high anxiety, high emotions, and very worried about self-image and stuff like that. And I think it's healthy to worry about that to an extent, but not when all that encompasses you is you're trying to impress others. And I was at a point where that's what I was trying to do, and I was making bad decisions doing it. But then somebody told me, very similar to what you said. It was like, not everybody thinks about you as much as you think about you.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised about how little you are in somebody else's thoughts. And that really resonated with me. I was like, that's true. That's why you shouldn't live for other people. That's why you shouldn't, and it goes into everything, right? I mean, your relationships with work, with every decision you make, do it for you, and people will love you for that. People will find you a good person for that. If you're doing it for you, I'm not saying like be selfish, be 100% selfish, but you have to know who you are and you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the big thing is just do things for yourself. Find out who you are, especially when you're younger.
Especially, yes.
Because you have all the time in the world, man. Like, you got to figure out who you are. And you grow up and you're your parents' shadow. You're that. And then when you're an adult and you're on your own, it's like, who are you? And I had to face that at a younger age, and I had to find out who I am. And still, life's a journey, right? You're changing. Everybody changes, so it's a lot to it. But just never give up on yourself.
I could really go on about this for a while, just because I feel like that was the biggest thing for me as I got older, just because it made everything easier. It made everything easier. Because, I mean, that's why so many people have, like, so much anxiety now.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, one example, for instance, like, let's just say, you put yourself together, you dress nice, you did your hair nice, you go out, to a party or whatever, go to a family function or go to your friend's house, whatever, and then you feel good about yourself, feel good how you look, you feel confident, and then someone makes a negative comment, like, oh, well, you're wearing that, or why do you look like that, and then they completely fucking turn a switch and that just makes you feel like shit.
Brings you down. Yeah.
Like, and that's not, and another situation where it's like you're madly in love with your boyfriend and you bring him home to your family, they meet them for the first time, and they're talking, then later on after that day they are texting you later how oh, well, he barely made us talked at all, like, how are you gonna think of this as a future husband, a future a future wife of yours if they can't even get along with your family?
Sure.
I mean, yes, to a certain extent, yes, they have to get along with your family, but it's like at the end of the day, you're living with them every day.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like if he or she is making you happy, don't let other people influence you, because sometimes people break up because, oh, well, my friends made a lot of good points, which, okay, yeah, your friends can make some good points about something that maybe you weren't paying attention to or something, or your family, but it's just like at the end of the day, you're the one that's happy with them, and they're trying to turn your happiness into something sour. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's so many different aspects of this one like realization that I made for myself, And like I said, I could go on and on about this.
Of course. I mean, and that's kind of the main thing is everybody's looking at it from the outside in, whether it's a relationship or your life in general, whatever it is. They don't live in your shoes. They don't wake up every day as you. Only you wake up every day as you. And that's why you should do the things that make you happy, the things that make you feel confident, and the things that make you feel loved. And that's it.
Yep.
That's it. Do what you want to do. Do what's healthy for you. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks about it.
Yes. Exactly.
This is you. I mean, if you're living in a free country, like, man, like, take advantage. Take advantage.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, make yourself happy. Do what you feel like you feel is right. And I mean, that's all you can really say.
Absolutely.
Sorry, we're beating this conversation up. I mean, this was something I felt really strong about. I could go on and on, but I mean, if you guys have something similar to that, if you guys have any, maybe something you guys want some advice on, you guys could send us an email at any time. We could discuss on the podcast. We don't have to include your name. You don't have to include the names. We're not going to say your name. We're not going to say the email, nothing like that. If you just want some clear advice, a guy's perspective, a girl's perspective, maybe, both of our perspectives can help you out. I mean, it's always great to hear an unbiased, opinion. And, if you guys want to send us something like that or answer some of these questions, Reddit questions, we have our email. Our email is lifeonmutepodcast@gmail.com. And you could send us an email about anything or any topics as well as that you want to discuss on here with us. You could find us on a couple different social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Life on Mute Podcast. We're going to have our audio on YouTube as well, Life on Mute. You can find us there. Anything else you want to add, Kevin?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you guys so much for listening. We really have a blast talking to you, and you guys are listening, and we appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, everybody. You all have a wonderful evening, morning, or day.
All right, see you guys next time. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.